I was 16 and living in New York. I was super athletic in high school, the type who'd work out and train for long hours. With the recruiting season a year away, I was under tremendous pressure to perform in my sport, as well as in my classroom. I was struggling to keep up in science at the time, so my mom suggested I get a tutor. She made an appointment with a friend of hers who knew his stuff. I'd been going to him regularly, probably 3 times a week for a month, before I met Justin. Justin had the tutoring session after mine, and we crossed paths every week. He was tall and blonde, with piercing blue eyes. One day, my tutor had to change his schedule and decided to book us together as we were learning the same topics. I was shocked and delighted when Justin started chatting with me afterwards and asked for my phone number. I never had a boy pay attention to me in that way. Eventually, Justin and I began dating. Justin went to Catholic school in another town, but because he lived in the same town as I did, he took the bus every morning from my school to his. This gave us most mornings together, and he was able to meet my friends. I was a little taken aback when they didn't take to him as I did. They mentioned him seeming weird, and I got super defensive, but I let it go. As time went on, things got more serious. We started experimenting sexually and became each other's first. Just after that, things began to change. While Justin and I always talked regularly, he started getting over the top about staying in contact with me. He would make me stay on the phone with him all hours of the night, until eventually my mom started taking my phone before I went to sleep. This relationship also started taking a toll on my athletic career. I was too tired to spend my extra time training and started skipping my practices to see him, driving 30 minutes each way to his school. Eventually, my friend sat me down and told me how unhealthy this relationship had become. I had isolated myself from them, and my entire free time was spent with him. At this point, I wanted so badly to end the relationship. I had fallen out of love with Justin, and college applications were approaching. I had been scouted by no less than 10 colleges, and I planned to attend Brown, my dream school. Justin's obsession with our relationship had taken a huge toll on his grades, and Brown wasn't going to be an option for him. I remember when I told him where I was planning on going, and he freaked out, saying he would never get in there, and begging me not to go. At the time, I was also recruited by the University of Yale. Justin applied there in hopes that I would ditch Brown and go to Yale with him. That was the final straw for me. I ended things for good with Justin, assuming he would eventually just understand. Because Justin would take the bus from my school to his every morning, I still had to see him. I remember walking into school past him and his classmates who took the bus with him, and some of his guy friends yelled obscene words at me. He had spread a rumor that I had cheated on him with a bunch of guys and then ended it with him. I ignored it until I started getting Facebook messages from random people at his school. I spent months getting nasty messages from guys at his school, accusing me of having STDs and telling me I was going to get molested by his friends. I had to delete my Facebook because it wouldn't stop. I think deleting my Facebook was what set off the stalker tendencies for Justin. He wasn't able to see my face online, so he started calling nonstop and sending desperate messages telling me he loved me. While this was going on, I was the favorite to win the high school championship in my sport. I'd gone undefeated all season. Justin ended up showing up whenever I was competing for the championship, and I saw him there. It shook me so badly that I ended up losing the title. I was furious and heartbroken. I remember picking up his call later that night. "What the hell do you want, man?" "Your head. I want your frickin' head, Mason. You ditched me. You are not worthy of my love." "Yeah, then stop loving me and leave me alone, freak." Now I'm a freak to you. Do you know what I'm going to do with you? I'll slit your wrists so deep that you'll never stop bleeding. And then I'll tie you up and entertain myself while watching you die. I'm gonna kill you like a pig, Mason. Go to hell. I was shaking horribly after this conversation with the person whom I fell in love with once. Thankfully, I recorded the call. The next morning, I went into school extra early, much earlier than I figured he'd be there. I showed my advisor the recording, who then called my mom. I remember feeling a deep-rooted shame as my mom listened to the recording, like I had done something to bring this on myself. My advisor was so alarmed by the recording, he advised me to go to the police. My mom and I sat in the police station all day, explaining the story of my relationship with Justin and how it got to this point. The police then drove to his high school and arrested him while he was in class. The topper of the day, though, was when I went out to bring food back to the police station for my mom and me, and I pulled into the station at the same time as the car holding Justin was. I saw him in cuffs, and he indeed looked like he wanted to kill me. Post-arrest, I got a restraining order against Justin, and he was sent to a mental institution for a short while. He ended up breaking the RO on more than one occasion. I contacted the police, but they didn't think it was causing me to do anything. I think it's important to note that Justin's family was wealthy and had a name in the area, so it wouldn't have surprised me that that's why they brushed it under the rug. I ended up attending Brown and had to inform them of the RO and let them know that Justin should not be allowed on campus. It's been over 10 years since this happened, and I continue to receive friend requests and phone calls from him on occasion. I recently moved across the country from where this occurred. I finally feel safe now that I'm far away from where he lives, but anytime I get a blocked call or a text from a number I don't know, a thought goes through my head if that's him. I hope we never meet again. I'm not a judgmental person, but this one encounter scarred me for life. I'm Gerald. I work in a garage, and I live in an apartment with a friend named Nathan. Nathan and I both met on the streets. I was wondering what to do after dropping out of high school, and he was searching the dumpster for lunch. We kind of bumped into each other and started talking. Our friendship had seen many bad days, but we ended up sticking together. Nathan believes it was our luck together that got us from the streets to this rented apartment. Honestly, I'm glad we met, or else things would have been worse. Well, at least for me. Working in a garage can be hectic. After a long, tiresome day at work, when we get home, both of us lose the minimum energy to go out for dinner. So our go-to plans were deliveries and takeout. One night after coming home from work, Nathan and I decided to order pizza. There was a Domino's shop about 10 minutes distance from our place. The shop has opened recently, so we decided to give it a try. I called the shop to place our order. Thank you for calling Domino's. How may I take your order? Yeah, hi. I'd like to order one large cheese burst pepperoni pizza. Okay, I'm afraid that'll have to take a little time as I'll have to deliver this myself. You're our last customer of the day, and I'll swing by after closing the shop. Will that be fine? Okay, sure, no problem. Great. Your pizza will be on the way. Once the call got disconnected, I sat quietly, thinking that such a big franchise like Domino's running out of stuff here. I noticed the time. It was only 8:30. What happened? Nothing. The woman said she would swing by our place with the order after closing the shop. We're the last customers for tonight. 8:30 is quite early to close shop like Domino's, right? Yeah, that's what surprised me too. Anyway, how'd she sound? Who? The girl at the pizza place. Nathan, shut up. Don't be ridiculous. Relax, dude. If she turns out to be hot, then what's the harm? Typical Nathan. Always flirting with women. I shrugged it off and waited for the food to arrive. After 20 minutes of waiting, the doorbell rang. I rushed to open it. As I opened the door, I saw a woman in her late 40s wearing the Domino's uniform. She had a ton of makeup on her face. The weird purple lipstick, accompanied by her pink cheeks, gave me the creeps. She eyed me from top to bottom with a very disturbing smile. Her wide eyes hardly blinked. She smiled big and then rolled her eyes in a weird way, saying, "Sorry it took a little time. I'm running this place all by myself." "Oh, I see. Is she here?" Yes, Nathan," I replied awkwardly, and Nathan came to pay the woman. That's when it clicked with me for the first time. I never told her my house address. How the hell did she know where to deliver the order? I felt goosebumps on my body. Nathan paid her, and she checked him out too. "Look at you boys, so handsome. I bet girls give you a lot of attention." "Well, it's the opposite, miss," Nathan said jokingly. "I see. Then you must feel lonely, like me." The way she said this while staring at us creeped the hell out of me. Nathan too felt uncomfortable as quickly as I did and wrapped up the conversation. "Well, thanks for everything. Good night." "Yeah, thank you." "Not a problem. I hope you enjoy your food." I closed the door and she left giving me a weird grin. We had our dinner and discussed how extremely cringy this woman was. Eventually, we went to sleep after dinner. It was probably around 2 a.m., and I heard a muffled sound coming from Nathan's bedroom. Sensing something was wrong, I got up and checked it out. As I opened the bedroom door, I saw a horrible scene. Nathan was lying half naked on his bed. His arms and legs were tied to the bed. The muffled sound was nothing but my friend's repressed cry for help. And on the bed beside him sat the woman from Domino's. Her long, stringy hair was floating in the air. She looked like a psycho killer. The big window of Nathan's room was open. I realized how she got inside. It wouldn't be too hard as we lived on the ground floor. Her eyes were fixated on Nathan's bare chest. Saliva was drooling from her mouth as she scanned my friend with hungry eyes. Slowly, her eyes turned towards me. I will never forget what she said to me. "I had my eyes for both of you. God knows how long I was stalking you two. Good for me, none of you realized." What the hell? Don't be so surprised. How do you think I knew your address, Gerald? She went to kiss Nathan, and I figured out that no matter how twisted she was, she hadn't brought any weapons. Without wasting a single second, I pushed her from the bed. She fell, losing control, and sprained her arm, hitting it on a sharp corner. While this sick woman lay on the floor, writhing in pain, I freed my friend from her grasp. We called the cops and kept an eye on her until they arrived. When the cops came to take her away, she blew us a kiss and said, "Don't worry, I'll be back to finish what I started. No matter where you go, I will always find you guys. And the next time when I do, I'll make sure to tie both of you to the same bed, and we can play together as long as I want." I still don't understand why she stalked us. The only possible explanation is that she was sick, a perverted lady who almost ended up molesting me and my friend. And I hope we never meet again.